time it is. Curbmeister Klatz, Racer Randy, back in the garage, working on my GT40 kit car. It's a race car replicas kit car. Today, Randy and I are going to pull the engine trans out of the car because of this. Engine runs. I've got that squared away, but there's no way to put those wires in a loom when there's no room between the engine and the firewall. So pull out the engine, and then I'll be able to address all those wires, and should be a fun project. What do you think, Randy?
Looks like a good time to me.
Ready?
Taking stuff apart.
Hey guys, it's the next day. Kind of cleaned up the garage, put things away again. Got the engine out. Plenty of wiring left to do, but I've already pared it all down. Everything's labeled. I just have to put some connectors on stuff and loom it, and some wires are too long, some wires are too short. I made notes. So I'll show you, I'll just take you around the garage and show you what things look like. I took apart my transaxle, and there's a bearing I think I need to replace. I'll show you that. The car itself, got to do a little wiring in there too. I should say I have to loom the wires and put some connections on it so I can pull the engine out easily for the next time. So let me turn the camera around and show you what's happening. All right. You know what they say, one step forward, two steps back. That's what I just did. Hold the engine. You can see that I now have room to do a nice job on all that wiring. So that's the wiring I need to work on. I have mounted the stock GM ECU right there, and above it is the OBD2 port, so I can tune the engine, check for faults. Right there in the center is my dry sump connection. There's the sump itself. There's my radiator expansion tank. And there's my oil cooler. And you can see the lines to the oil cooler. I think I've got everything capped up. Moving over here to the transaxle. I wanted to open it up to see what I got. So pulled the cover off the back. And the parts involved: clutch fork, hardware. These are output shafts. They would be coming through this plate here, differential cover plate. This is my WaveTech limited slip differential. I'm not happy with these bearings here. Don't know if you can see. I can see it and feel it. You don't even need a fingernail. You can feel that it's rough. So I will be replacing that baby. On the other end, it's not bad, acceptable, smooth, no pitting, no scratching. So you need to do that. The rest of the gearbox looks good. I have new synchros for first and second that have been installed. These vertical shafts are for the shift forks. These are the shift forks, and they move a synchro ring up or down depending on which gear you've selected. And you can kind of see the synchro in there. Those have been replaced. So that's a good thing. So all the other gear looks normal, looks good. Of course, this differential resides right in here normally. This would be the bell housing with the clutch, differential, gearbox, transaxle assembly. And my engine, LS7 Chevy engine. Go with what you know, right? There's the Corvette with the LS7 engine. So I already had pretty much a lot of knowledge and tools and information to work on this thing. Plus, it's a good fit. It's a small package, 427 cubic inch. The back of the engine
I have the adapter, so it'll bolt up. This is actually the flywheel and clutch that bolts up to that Porsche Getrag transaxle. It sits back here. And the big reason why I pulled all this out is I still have to put these wires in a loom. So the engine's been tested, it's been in the car. I know I've got wiring that works. I decimated the original GM wiring harness. So I just have to loom that up, shorten some stuff up, and I'll be putting it back in. That's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the video. Leave me a comment, question. Got any ideas? It's always good to hear from you guys. And as always, Curbmeister Klotz saying, keep the shiny side up and your nuts tight.